Welcome all to the weekly outlook. Boone here from EWPRO. Getting straight into the weekly outlook, starting with the DXY on the daily. Nothing's really changed. We have broken the ending point of wave A here, and I'm looking at that A, B, C, possibly down to this 100 fib, and it may even turn motive and go down to this 161.8. But at this stage, I'm sort of looking at an A, B, C in here, and then we get this A, B, C, and then the A, B, C. So that's the longer term structure I'm looking at. So I'm really just looking for buys at this stage. We're going down to the lower time frames to see if this wave in here is over. Like I mentioned last week, we have this bull hidden. A bear hidden here. We have that bear hidden here. It hasn't gone and broken the low. It's very close to breaking the low, but it hasn't quite broken the low yet. Ideally, this does come down and break this low, and then we can start from a low, looking for buys from a low. At this stage, because that low hasn't been broken, all I can really expect is just an A, a B, and a C, and then more downside because this low hadn't been broken. So, on the lower time frames, there probably is a buy in here. It's very messy. But yeah, it's really messy after non-farm payroll. Yeah, but I still think, on the H1, I'd be looking at a C up. You have to be careful because it may only just go and break this top. So it may only just go and break that top and then fall over for more downside. I don't think we're ready for that larger C up on the daily yet. AU on the daily, we're waiting for this retracement. We're waiting for this retracement in here. And if this looks corrective on the lower time frames, well, then we can look to buy for this like A, B, C. So we've just been waiting for that, this retracement. There has been sells into this correction, but I'm only looking at it as a correction, right? All this as a correction. And we can get back to that 50 fib or even the 61.8. There was a sell in here for that non-farm payroll. But yeah, if you're not in that, it's going to be difficult to get in because this was a nice correction here. Had that like A, B, C, A, B, C up in here before we went and broke the low. So really at this stage, you'd be going down onto the lower time frames and looking for a correction and just selling into the trend. At this stage, it doesn't look like we do have any bullish divergence here, so I think we may have lost the bullish divergence. So yeah, you'd just be looking for a sell set up on the lower time frames. I'd be looking for a bear hidden or something to give me more confidence that we're going to get a lower low. But yeah, at this stage, there really isn't much on it. And if you're looking for the buy, you're just buying into a correction, scalping. GU's pretty much played out. We were looking for that like A, B, C. Excuse me. We had that ball hidden on the lower time frame for this. Now we've lost all the bearish divergence, so there still is chance that there's more upside on this. We're looking for a buy into that non-farm payroll. But yeah, on the H4, we had that ball hidden here and it's gone up and played out. We lost that bearish bearish divergence, and so I'm just looking for a correction back to this 50 fib, and possibly back to the 61.8. But I'm looking for a correction, and then I'll be looking for more buys. At this stage, there really isn't much at all, very similar to AU. I'll be looking for an A, a B, and a C down. So at this stage, you'll be looking at the lower time frames again. You'll be waiting for a correction in here. We have a nice impulse down. You'll be looking for some sort of a correction in here, and then you'll be looking for downside. EU, you can see I've had this on here for quite a long time. This arrow here I put on down when we were down in here. It's messed around a bit in here, if you follow me a bit, but it has played out. We have got that C up. So I'm looking at that A, B, C now. So this larger C down. But again, we're just looking at the lower time frames to see if this wave in here is over. I believe there's a bull hidden here, and we're looking for that fifth one up. So I'm looking at that, 1, 2, 3, a wave 4, and then we get a wave 5 up. Still looking for that wave 5 up. It hasn't quite completed the time factor in there. Ideally, this does come down and break the low, give us something from a fresh start, and then we can look for buys. Once this time factor here is complete, start looking for that buy into wave 5. At this stage, it's really a sell on the lower time frames, like GU. I mean, it's quite messy because of non-farm payroll, it was quite choppy. But if we're looking at this as the impulse down, we get a correction in here and you look for another one down. We have all this bearish divergence here. So after this impulse, I'll be looking for a correction, another one down, and then I'd be looking for the buys into that wave 5. NU, pretty much playing out how we're looking at. I would really like to see this wave here come and break the ending point of that wave A there. Again, we're looking for that wave 5 on the H4 as well. This one has given us a lower low here, so that's great. We can start looking for that buy. It's more than likely not ready on the lower time frames, but we are getting this bull hidden in here. So as long as this low here holds, I'd be expecting a high. So we're just really going down onto the lower time frames at this stage, waiting for this wave in here to be over. There's really not much on the H1. Yeah, more than likely there's more. I wouldn't be surprised if there's more downside. I mean, you could scalp a little buy in here, but more than likely we'll get a correction in here and then another one down, and then I'd start looking for the buys for that wave 5 up on the H4. We're doing a bit of trading on this during the week, so I'll remove all this. Still looking for a buy up, but longer term, nothing's changed on the daily. We have that 5 up. We have all that bearish divergence, but the thing is here, did we get a bull hidden here? I think we did. Yeah, we have. I've mentioned it many times before, but we do have a possible bull hidden here. So like I've been mentioning, I wouldn't be surprised if we get a very deep correction to this move down, or it even, the bull hidden plays out and breaks the top. Either way, I'll be looking for a deep correction in here before we get one down. So I am looking for a buy. I'm looking for this flat in here. It still hasn't gone, but you can see what I'm looking at. Looking at an A, a B, and a C, and we get an A, B, C expanding flat in here, and we get that C up. It's going to be quite. This is more for the experienced traders because we're getting an expanding flat in here. So to get in, you really got to get in on the first opportunity. Not much on the H1, really you're going down onto the lower time frames, waiting for this wave in here to be over. Well, doesn't look like we're getting any bullish divergence yet. So like the other pairs, I wouldn't be surprised if we just get a correction in here. And that's what I'd like to see. Just a correction in here, get another one down, and then a nice impulse up, and then we can look for the buy. And that's pretty much what I'm looking at. Whether you want to sell this, I mean, you can just for a scalp, but I dare say, once we get a lower low in here, if that happens, we'll start to get that bullish divergence. So, you'd want to be starting to take profit. It's really mainly a scalp, the sell, longer term, the buy for that C up on the H4. UY, this one, there's a couple of different scenarios here. I am looking at this as a flat, and an A, B, and we get a C up. I'm waiting, excuse me. Really, this is very similar to GU. We either get a very deep correction in here or it goes and breaks that top. There is no ball hidden on this one, though. But I'm expecting to see at least a correction in here, a nice correction. And we are getting that now. I was looking for this to come and break the low. We had that bear hidden here. If you follow me, we had that bear hidden here. And it's just about breaking that low, if not broken it. I'll just check to see if it has broken it on this platform. It doesn't look like it's quite broken it, but like I mentioned, we either get a very deep correction in here or it goes, the bear hidden plays out and breaks a low. And either way, it's played out. I would really like to see this break the low, and then, go down onto the lower time frames and look for at least an A, B, C. We do have like 3 waves down in here. So, I'll be looking for that larger C up, and then you'd be looking for the sell. More than likely it's going to be a running or well, at this stage it's a regular flat, so it may just come and break that low, and we may not get that like deep correction like I'd be expecting on the GY. But yeah, at this stage there really isn't much on it. As the buy yet. We do have bullish divergence on the M15. So you'd really have to go down onto the lower time frames and see what's happening in here. If you're getting a correction, you could give it a go, just for an A, B, C. And if it takes off on you, all good. But you'd have to get it to break even at the break of this top, because it can give you another one down. So yeah, but I'll be more interested in a buy for that C up in that flat, that regular flat, like I showed. UCAD, nothing's changed. This is very choppy. If you want to see what I'm looking at overall, go back in last week. But this last section here, excuse me, we got that bearish divergence. We got a nice impulse down. So I'm looking for this correction back to the 50 fib or possibly even the 61.8. I'm looking for a correction in here and then looking for another one down. That was during the week. We got that C down. I was just looking for a C down in here for a scalp and then a buy, basically, but that was in the group. So this is pretty much playing out how I was looking at it in the group, which you guys wouldn't have seen, but, well, a lot of you wouldn't have. But we had 3 down in here. and we got 3 up. So we got an A, a B, and we're getting a C up in here. There's no bearish divergence, so this may even turn motive and give us 5 up, larger correction, and then another 5 up. At this stage, you probably could look for a buy. Yeah, you see, I was looking for this little flat in here, which pretty much played out with an, I was looking for one up in here and an A, a B, a C, and then fall over for a C down. That was just a scalp, and it's played out. So, but now you'd be looking for a buy, but you got to wait for a correction, and it's really just a scalp. The Swissy on the daily. This one has just about broken this low, we're getting that A. I'm looking at all this as a B, and I'm looking for that C up. We're just waiting. I wasn't expecting this to be so deep to this wave. I was just looking for a correction in here, and this could possibly turn motive, but at least get a C up. Now, because we have that very deep correction to this impulse here, I'm pretty much just looking for a C up, a regular flat at this stage because it's so deep, and then more downside. But you never know. It may, as long as this low here holds, it still could turn motive, but it's becoming slimmer and slimmer chance that it will. I'll be just looking at it as, well, at this stage, because this low hadn't been broken, I'd just be looking at it as a regular flat. Get that C up. Again, here, I was looking for a C up in here during the week. And I still am pretty much. H4, we got the 5 down. We lost all that bullish divergence. So I'm just looking for a larger correction in here and then more downside. So an A, we got sort of 3 down in here. There was a few different scenarios in here, what I was looking at in there. But I'll be looking at an A, a B, a C up as a running or expanding flat, and then possibly another 5 down. See, there is quite a few different scenarios here, because this is quite choppy breaking the low, so it can become more complex. We can just get a C up in here and then an A, B, C, getting 3 down, breaking this low, then the A, B, C. So you will have to be careful on the lower time frames. I mean, I'm looking for a buy. I'm only looking for a buy, but there is a possible that this is just a C up, an A, B, C in here, and not the larger A, B, C. So you will have to be careful with that. It may just be a running flat in here, and you get another one down. So if you're looking for the buy, make sure you got a nice buy set up to buy, because like I said, it might be just a running flat, or it could be expanding as well, but more than likely this is a flat for more downside. But any buy setup you get, you can look for that C up, and if you're lucky, you get the larger C up. This one here, A, B, C. But looking at price action, I'm not really liking that. I'm more thinking that we'll get a flat in here, another one down, and then we get the A, B, C. EG, this is looking very corrective here on the lower time frame, but I've got all these arrows everywhere. They're just corrections. So yeah, we had a nice impulse up in here. We had a nice impulse up, but it's come straight back down. So it either gives us a buy from here or a sell. We either get a correction in here and another one down, 3 breaking the low, and then we get a larger flat for more downside. That's one scenario. Or we get an impulse up here and we get a buy here, and we get 3 breaking the top, and then you get like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, you're flat, and then you get an A, B, C up in here before you get more downside. So either way, it's still very much bearish on the higher time frames. In my opinion, there's those 2 scenarios that I just showed you, which are still both bearish. Yeah. And the reason I'm thinking that is because we got an impulse and an impulse, and it's very deep. This impulse down is very deep to, it's back to the 90 fib of this first impulse. So, I'm just looking for a correction, basically. As you can see on the H4, we were looking for 5 down in here, and it still can give us that. This is looking very corrective here. Whether you want to scalp that one down and then, look for another one up in here. Well, you can sort of scalp this on those 2 daily counts that I just showed you before, possible scenarios. So yeah, but at this stage it does look very much bearish. I wouldn't be surprised if we get another one down in here. There isn't any bull hidden on it, but bear hidden on it just yet, but it possibly could give us a bear hidden. And even if it's a larger correction than this, it doesn't really matter. It still can give you another one down if that's looking bearish. So just be careful with the buys at this stage. WTI, this is what I'm looking at. I should really go over the W1. So what I'm looking at is longer term. This is longer term. We get an A. We're sort of getting there's a few different scenarios in here, but I'm looking for an A, a B, and a C on the weekly before we get an A, B, C. The daily, you can see I've got all these drawn out for you guys. Sort of looking, you could look for the buy up in here, and it may be an A, end of way B, and you get a C up in here for an A, B, C. Or it plays out like I'm looking at here, an A, a B, we get a C up in here as a flat, and then we get an A, B, C in here, an A, B, C, A, B, C, etc., A, B, C, before we get the larger A, B, C. So it's all drawn out for you as a possible scenario, and this is, of course, the scenario I'm looking at. It hadn't given us a buy in here yet. We had the 5 down in here. So we had the 5 down in here. We got an A, B, C, contracting flat, if you look at contracting flats. And then we get 1, 2, 3 down. We lost all the bullish divergence, so, I wouldn't be surprised if we get more downside. And we can even get like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in here and still give us that C up for that flat, and then, give us another one down. It's more complex. I'm really only looking for the buy, though. At this stage, I'm only looking for the buy. We do have the 5 down on the H1. We were looking for a 5th one down in here in the room, and we've got that. We didn't get across in here with no bullish divergence, but yeah. I dare say on the M30 we got bullish divergence. We do have on the M30. What I'd be looking for as with the buy is a nice impulse up, breaking this top, giving us a nice correction in here, and we could look for a buy. And like I said, I'm looking for that buy, for that C up. At this stage, there really isn't much. If you're looking at the lower time frames, it's more bearish still. We may even have a bear hidden in here. We don't, but this is quite choppy. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get an A, a B, a C, finishing off this wave 5, and then we get impulse and more upside. take a look at gold. Gold, I've been saying, you know, pretty much staying out of the market up here. You know, we got the 5 up on the daily. We've got that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up. It hasn't quite got to that second target. I wouldn't be surprised if it gets to that second target, but we're getting all that bearish divergence. I wouldn't be, you know, scalping the end of the market. You know, leave the scraps for someone else. We got the 5 up on the H4 like we were looking at, but you know, this is still very much corrective. So, you know, we can get some sort of an A, B, C in here, A, B, C, and then you get more upside, you know, possibly up to that 161.8, the second target in that wave 5. So, you know, yeah, whether you want to scalp this, there is no, I mean, unless you're going right down onto the lower time frames, there is no sell on it. It's more of a buy still, in my opinion. You know, it may just come down, break that top, and you get that A, B, C, A, B, C, and then it goes up and breaks the top. Whether you want to scalp this, you know, it's up to you. I just leave it alone when it's up at these levels. You know, silver. This one, you know, it didn't give us that wave 5 up like gold did. We got the 3 up. On the lower time frames, you know, I still am looking at, you know, getting more upside up to this like first target, that 123.6 and possibly the 161.8. I mean, these are all still the same, but yeah, these targets here for the wave Z on the lower time frame, we've been waiting for this correction. If you go back through my video yesterday, last week, you know, we got a nice impulse up in here. We're getting some sort of a correction. As long as this, I mean, it's back to the 61.8 already. Wait until you get, I want something on the H1 to buy or on the lower time frames. We are getting bullish divergence on the, we do have a lower low here. So we are starting to get bullish divergence on the H1. But, you know, at this stage, I'm only looking for the buy, you know, and I'm looking at all this as a correction. And this can even be some sort of a, you know, a flat here as well. But we do have 3 down. Either way we look at it, we do have 3 down now. So any buy setup you get, you can look for it. I don't think it's, like I said, I don't think it's giving us a setup yet. There's no, more than likely we'll get a bear hidden in here on the M15. We get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We get a bear hidden in here. We get a 5th one down, giving us a bullish divergence. Then if you get the buy setup, that's what you don't want to miss. At this stage, you know, I don't think this is over. I think there'll be 5 down, and then we'll get some buy setups. Bitcoin, very choppy. Like very similar to silver, this one. We didn't get that 5th one up. We didn't get that wave Z up and never went and broke. I was looking for it over here, you know. I was looking for it over here to go and break that top for that wave Z. It never happened. Instead, we're getting that large correction. At this stage, we were looking for a sell last week because we had these 3 up in here. We had the impulse. We got an A, B, C up in here. There's a little flat in there to sell on the lower time frame. If I just go down the lower time frame, you'll see it. But you know, we got an A, a B, a C up in here. There's a bear hidden here to sell, and we get an A, B, C. We are getting bullish divergence. So, you know, if we do get a nice impulse up and a buy setup, you definitely can look for the buy. And really, I'm only looking for the buy, you know, at this stage, because we have that bullish divergence on the H1 now. This may turn even more complex. You know, no one knows for sure, but, you know, because we got 3 up in here, 1, 2, 3, and we got 3 down, we can get like 3 up as a complex correction 333, or it may give you 5 up as a 335 before you get more downside. This may just be a large correction for another one down, but you know, at this stage we are getting that bullish divergence in here. And I mean, if you're not on the sell, you don't want to be looking for a sell down here. But yeah, that's what I'd be looking at. A nice impulse up, and I dare say it's not ready on the lower time frames yet. We'll probably get you know, just quickly go down to them 15. Yeah, I dare say we'll get more downside, because even here, you know, we have a little flat in there. We got 1, 2, 3. You get a wave 4 and a wave 5 down. So, you know, wait for the wave 5 down, then start looking for your buys. S&P 500, we're right at the top of the market on the daily, and I just been saying, you know, leave this alone up here. You don't want to be, you just want to leave it alone. And it is falling over. I was thinking we might get a higher high here, and go and break that top. It's very deep, this, you know, so whatever's happening here is more than likely a correction, and we get a correction in here and another one up, and then you get like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 as your larger flat, and then you get more upside. So this is a scenario I'm looking at longer term. You know, that's the sort of correction that I'm looking at this stage. I was thinking that we might get a higher high in here, because this was looking very flat. It sort of did give us a higher high and then fell over. There was a sell in there. If you're not on that, you pretty much missed the trade. You know? If you're not in it, you pretty much missed it. So you've missed it. Yeah. Oh, you can see what I'm looking at. I'm looking at this larger C down. Whether this is over in here or not, that's the question, because it's very similar to you know, S&P 500. We got a nice impulse down. I was just looking for a correction in here, another one down. Instead, it's giving an impulse, and it's very deep correction. It didn't go and break the top, but it's very deep. So I'm just looking at a possible correction, you know, some sort of a flat before we get more upside. You know, we get 1, 2, 3 in here, like I showed on the S&P. Basically, there has been sells in here as well. This is a nice sell in here. If you're not on it, you pretty much missed the trade. You can't get in it now. You've already missed it. So yeah, take a quick look at the FTSE. This is more of a buy. You know, we've broken this top. Like, we got 1, 2, 3 down. Nice impulse up. We got some sort of an AB, maybe an expanding flat here, and we get more upside. So I'd be careful with the sell at this stage. I mean, it's like the other indices. You know, there was a sell on it. You know, if you miss this, well, you got to stay out of it, because we're starting to get this bullish divergence in here. It may still keep on going, but do you want to risk it? You know, you got to wait for a pullback on the lower time frames and then get in, and it just becomes more riskier. So yeah, there's really not much on it at this stage. You've pretty much missed the trade, you know, if you're not already on it. This one did go and break the top, which is great. This one did go and break the top, the DAX, which is good. This is, you know, this is quite good now, because we have all that bearish divergence. We were looking at this as corrective to go and break the top, but this move down here really threw me out a bit, because I wasn't expecting such a, you know, deep move down. But I was saying for a long time, you know, looking bullish, and finally it's gone and broken the top, which is great, because now we can start to look for sells. This would have been a nice sell in here, you know, especially after that bearish divergence. This may just turn corrective. You get 5 down in here, larger correction, and then another 5 down, and you get an A, a B, and a C. You know, that's pretty much what I'd be looking at on this. But at this stage, you know, you're pretty much shelling into a correction. You know, that's what you're doing. It's nearly back to the 38.2. So yeah, it's like the others. If you're not already in it, you have to stay out of it. This was perfect, you know. It gave you 3 up. It gave you that 1, 2, 3 up. Get a sell set up on the lower time frames, and you get that A, B, C. Didn't get a cross in there, but I hope you all enjoyed the weekly outlook, got something out of it, and enjoy your weekend.